challenge that lies ahead, and what would it mean to you to go and progress into this tournament?
Yeah, of course, I'm so excited to obviously be here at Rangers and to have something like the Champions League to focus on. And yeah, our aim is to qualify, so we've been working really hard in the pre-season, and I think we're working towards that, and yeah, that's our aim.
It's quite a kind of tough qualification process if you are to go and be successful and qualify for the group stages. What will it take to negotiate, first of all, this initial hurdle?
Yeah, of course, it's 3 tough teams, but I think we've been preparing well. We've had some tough games in pre-season to hopefully set us up for that, and yeah, we're working towards that. We've built good relationships within our pre-season games, and hopefully we can show that within the qualifying.
You've obviously got European experience within your career. Does that help going into a game of this magnitude?
Yeah, I think obviously I've had a lot of experience now through different places, and yeah, I think that will hopefully help within the team, and hopefully we've got a few leaders within the team, and yeah, it'll be good for us to just show what we can all do together, and yeah, that's what we're going to focus on.
Feels like a pretty big game for your first competitive game. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously it's come quite thick and fast, but as I say, we've prepared well within pre-season, and yeah, it's a big game, but we're ready for it, and I think yeah, we want to show what we can do.
I'd imagine too you'll be hoping that Rangers fans get behind you tomorrow night. You turn out at Broadwood and appreciate just how much it would mean to the squad and for you guys as players to go and qualify.
Yeah, of course, it'd be good to see the support that will be there. Obviously, as a new player, it'd be nice to see the supporters and to have their support within the game, and we'll feel that on the pitch. So yeah, it'll be nice to see tomorrow.
It's high stakes, isn't it? Really? Straight away?
Yeah, of course, it is a big game, and yeah, we understand that, but at the same time, we've prepared within pre-season and we've done exactly what we can do. So yeah, we just have to show that on the pitch.
Yeah, speaking of pre-season, you've had 3 games. Thistle, Birmingham, Newcastle. How have the new players all gelled? Because there's been quite a turnover, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, there's been new players coming in and we've had to build them relationships, but I think the games that we've played, they've all kind of gave us a different challenge, and yeah, we've come up against different styles of play which helps us within this kind of competition. So yeah, we're looking to obviously just build on that and show that we can do that within the qualifying as well.
Yeah, qualifying, it could be tough when you can drop into Europa League if you don't necessarily have to win for tomorrow to have European competition this year. But when we look at the coefficient ratings, I mean these are serious teams you're up against.
Yeah, of course, we know it's 3 really good teams, but at the same time we have a really good group of players, and we want to show that we are there to qualify, and we will do exactly what we can do to qualify. So yeah, hopefully that's our achievement.
The women's game is relatively young at the European stage. Have you been able to do much, has the club brought you much research on the opponents you're going to be facing?
Yeah, of course, we've got we've had a look at different scenarios and different teams, but yeah, we've been focusing on us as well, just making sure that we are prepared and that we show what we can do as a team. I think yes, there's only been pre-season games, but you can still obviously look at other teams and see what they've been doing. But yeah, we've got to focus on us and make sure that we're prepared in the way that we're going to play.
In terms of your own career, obviously you've got kind of, shall we say, an established position, but you've mentioned the turnover on the squad here. You also get coaches that tend to think they can see something in a player that maybe somebody else has missed. Are you looking forward to that challenge yourself, establishing yourself and maybe expanding your role?
Yeah, I think obviously it's nice to be part of this team. There's a lot of really good people within the team, and seeing how they've progressed and stuff has been really nice. So hopefully I can do that myself here. Playing for Rangers, I want to show what I can do and bring, whether that be leadership or just the experience that I've obviously now got through being at different places, different teams. So yeah, it'll be nice to just be with the girls out there tomorrow night.
Thank you, everyone.
Lovely, thank you.
Thanks, David.
That's not the first question, by the
Hello.
way. Your first crack at Champions League as a manager, how does that feel?
I've never really thought too much about it, in all honesty, even in that type of context. Probably just looking at it as being the proper first game of the season for us, and one that we worked really hard last season to guarantee that we would have had European football, which was one of the main objectives for the club. So really pleased at that, and exciting in terms of being at home as well. I know probably logistically for the club it's been a stretch as well in terms of the preparations and getting everything organised for hosting other teams and whatnot, but the beauty for me is I've been able to be fully focused on the game and the potential of the group and the new players obviously that have come in and joined us, so we're excited and we're ready to go.
Does that home advantage kind of take a wee bit of the edge off what looks like a really tough group?
Look, I think being at home is brilliant just because there's been no upheaval. We've been afforded real consistency throughout pre-season in the sense that we've travelled for a couple of fixtures down south. Other than that, we've been based in a training centre, we've been able to eat the same food, sleep the same way, train the same way. We're afforded some sunshine in the early part of pre-season. We've not had to think about travel and logistics and look to try and turn things around if we were somewhere else in Europe. So in that sense it's absolutely advantageous for us and for the group that they can stay at home and there's no travelling and staying in hotels and everything that comes with football. So hopefully it will be an advantage on the pitch and we'll see that in terms of consistency. But you're right, top opposition, there won't be any easy games, certainly first or second, and Slavia is the one that we've prepared for wholeheartedly and the one that we know will bring the biggest test in that opening game.
You've had quite a lot of changes in the close season there.
Yep.
I was trying to enumerate how many, what is it, about seven years now?
Yeah, there's a fair few have came in, which were always planned. In terms of the squad last season, we knew there would be a number of players get out the door in the summer for various different reasons, but we were very much on the front foot in terms of looking to recruit and a couple of familiar faces that we've brought back as well. So the group's looking good. A couple of injuries and knocks and niggles as pre-season often delivers, but certainly in terms of a group ready to go and compete this week, we're looking pretty good.
Leanne, you've obviously got extensive European experience as a player.
Yeah.
How much would you like your squad to appreciate what that level is like, what that demand is like and what that environment's like?
Yeah, look, for some it will be different because it will be their first taste of European football and a different type of opponent, which again is a bit growth as a footballer and you only get better at dealing with those situations the more times you're faced with it. Luckily for us, the group that we've got, albeit a lot of them still very young in terms of their career, they've had real good international experience as well and they'll have come up against similar types of opponents, whether it be in friendly matches or competitive tournaments. So you just want the players to embrace the opportunity. I think I always said it, after my career, there's bits that you allow to pass you by. You don't necessarily live in the moment. I don't think it's bad that you can be looking to that next game. You don't dwell too much on it. But I think the message over, certainly the next 24, 48 hours is that we can live in the moment. We want to try and set our standard. We want to try and show this week the team that we want to be this season, the way we've developed throughout pre-season and certainly showcase the players that we've brought to the club in the best possible light. So it's a magnificent opportunity to do that and certainly a European game to kick us off at the start of the season is perfect.
What do you expect from Slavia Prague?
Tough game, we've had some footage on them, we've tried to work as hard as we can to kind of paint that picture, but there'll be a tough nut to crack. These types of teams always are, and in my experiences in the European game, both men and women, you can see that. Very physical, very aggressive, they look to try and play between the lines really quickly, load our box in terms of numbers, but we've looked at them and we feel there's also vulnerabilities there that we can look to try and expose and exploit, so hopefully the two things marry up well.
If you are successful in going to progress at the group stages of the Champions League or you fall into the Europa Cup, it could mean a fairly gruelling first half of the season as you're juggling two different demands. Do you feel as though you've got a squad depth sufficient enough to cope with that?
Yeah, we'll only find that out once we get going. As I say, we've taken a couple of hits in pre-season, a couple of bodies off the back of last season as well, and I suppose just now the transfer window is still open. If we look and feel like we need to try and add a little bit more, the club support's been brilliant up until now, but we won't know until the ball starts turning, and I think the group and the players that we've got within the building just now are more than capable to manage the demands of all 4 competitions. I think it's about us as a staff group as well, and the resource that we have here to work as efficiently as we possibly can to keep everybody's fresh and available for as much of the time as we need them. But it's part and parcel of football as well. I don't ever remember going back in my career and preparing for games hoping that I was sitting on the bench one day. I think the reality is you want to play every minute, you want to play every game, and you only build that robustness and that resilience by going through that gruelling type of phase. So hopefully it puts us in a better place. I think when you look at Glasgow City last season as an example, they were hot out the traps, and they managed to gain a real good foothold in the league title based on the standard of football that they were playing early on. So I would like to think that that's where our focus will be, and we can try and replicate something similar if it presents that opportunity.
Finally, Leanne, like you said, it's a challenge.
Yep.
It's a prize, for how you performed last season, but is it a challenge when you have to play these European games before you're in the swing of a league season and you've got some rhythm?
Okay, I know there's two ways you can look at it. We've tried to prepare smartly in pre-season. A couple of really good challenges for us against Newcastle and Birmingham, tough opponents, real good WSL quality. We had one Scottish friendly against Partick Thistle, which was again great in terms of that being the first game, and we've tried to work the group as physically as much as we possibly can. So any game, I don't ever like to enjoy a friendly, if that makes sense. Like I always want to see a competitive edge, and sometimes it's hard to replicate that. The pressure comes with the fact it's European football, and you want to progress, you want to win. But the reality for me is it's also an opportunity to continue pre-season now and continue that momentum and look to try and, as I say, show and present the team that we want to be. So it will be hopefully a beneficial element to pre-season, and obviously that being the first game, and domestically is the focus. We want to win the league this season, that's the reality. So hopefully European football can help us get there.
And like you say, it's a bonus at the games that are only hoping that the fans will come out and back you at Broadwood and wherever else the game is, because you've got that advantage.
Absolutely, it would be brilliant. I love nothing more than the fans to get right behind us. There's been so much change at the club over the summer. Again, all welcome change, all real positivity, excellent vibes within the building in terms of our collaboration with the men's department. Derek obviously coming in, a whole new group of staff as well who've been first class with us, which was great. Really excited to see how their season progresses. We'll be kicking every ball with them, and I would love that to be reciprocated on the other side, which I know it will, if the fans can come on that journey and support both the men's and the women's teams as much as they possibly can. I totally appreciate the commitment to support two teams. It's almost nigh on impossible at times, but certainly for European football in Glasgow at this point in summer, I would like to think it would be appealing to some.
The profile of European games obviously been raised within the women's game, but in terms of yourself and your staff, has this been quite a challenge to prepare for this game? And I'm saying games.
Not necessarily, because we're focused on Slavia being the kind of main opponent just now. Difficult to plan and prepare for Brøndby and Ajax, not knowing who will play. But the reality is we've done as much work as we possibly can. It's a transitional period in the season as well, so we know teams will have changed, personnel has changed. Everybody at this stage wants to keep pre-season friendlies a closed door element of it. You don't find out too much information, so we wouldn't want to prepare the players and lead them down the wrong path, and all of a sudden we're presented with something completely different. So we've tried to prepare our group based on who we want to be, the team that we want to be, the identity that we want to show throughout the season, regardless of whether it's in Europe or it's in domestic duties. And the players have been super receptive to that. So again, we're ready and we're prepared and we're agile for Slavia and whoever that next opponent is. It's been enjoyable. That's the reality. Preparing for European football is brilliant.
In terms of your squad, obviously you've had a fair turnover in the squad.
Yeah.
Do you have a starting 11 in your head? I don't expect you to share it with us, but do you have a starting 11 for the season ahead? And will that involve any change in the style of play? Obviously, you've got a preferred style, but the people available to you, does that make any changes?
I think people will see a slight variation to us this season. I think we were really good in being the most consistent team last season, albeit falling at 3 competitions. But I think that's put us in a better place. We've brought competition in terms of places across the pitch, we've brought excitement, we've brought pace, we've brought energy. we've brought goals, we've brought robustness, we've brought quality, a bit of experience and a bit of youth, and I want to try and collaborate that and get that into the team as quickly as we possibly can. You know, we've touched on it there in terms of Alison's question about the scheduling and how tough and gruelling that might be. Everybody's going to play their part this season without a doubt, so every position we've actually got 2 players per position fitting well, so if we can keep them fit, we can keep them available, then everybody will, you know, carry us throughout the season, and that's the type of headache that I want as a head coach. I want to be challenged and put under pressure to make decisions. Hopefully that brings out the best in the group.
Okay, guys. Thanks everybody.
The Four Lads Rangers podcast is proudly sponsored by Candid, LBJ Consultants, CBD Oil Scotland, Elite Scooters Scotland and Metaclad, Four Lads exclusive roofing partner. The Aesthetics Lounge by Sharon, Denhay, the quintessential British bacon. Thank you to all our sponsors, and in partnership with Black Rooster, Art of Gold and Rangers Youth Development Company. Thank you for listening to or watching the podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show.